Hey everyone, hope you're doing well out there. We're at episode 5, and this time my guest was Anna B. She's a rapper, singer, model, producer, and CEO of Lovely Ambition. We talked about studio life, community outreach, and self-care. Once again, thank you to everybody who has reached out to show support to the series so far. There's so many of you I can't wait to talk to. But until then, here's Anna B. Anna B.
Anna B.
You are a rapper, singer, producer, model, host of Talk to Me podcast, and CEO of Lovely Ambition. But that's not all. You are a true creative with your involvement in so many artistic endeavors, including acting, writing films, and sharing your fitness journey with us. Watching your videos and listening to your music has been incredibly inspiring to me. I particularly admire the confidence you instill in myself and others through the music you create.
Thank you.
Thank you for that confidence, and thank you for taking the time to be here tonight.
Oh my gosh, that was so nice. Look, I'm really dramatic. I almost cried.
So I wanted to talk about your early life and inspirations first. What sparked your initial interest in the arts, and which avenue did you find yourself starting with?
I feel like I started with my music. That was the first thing that I did. I was in high school, but I was inspired mostly because of the stuff that was around me. I was born 2001, so it was like, a lot of music videos, staying up late, seeing like the MTV videos at the end, like stuff like that. And then having supportive parents. They always really just encouraged me to really do what I wanted to do. So I feel like with that backup, I feel like, I can do anything. I can run for president.
Yeah. That's awesome. That really was like a special time for just music videos and like that medium, because it was just before that on-demand era where it's like, let's stay up and watch the new music videos.
It's everywhere. It was like it was more like you can see TVs inside of like a showcase and they're showing videos.
Right.
You go to stores and they're showing videos. My dad, he had a lot of old school cars. So even as a kid, like as a baby, I'm looking at the back of a seat and it has a TV there on the back of the thing.
That was the most future thing.
So I'm like, that's just what I was used to seeing. So I'm like, once I see those music videos, I'm like, oh, that looks cool. I can dance like that. I can dress like that.
Yeah.
Different stuff like that. So definitely.
What were some of the biggest influence in those music videos and in the arts when you were growing up? Like, what were some of your favorite artists you saw in those music videos?
The biggest influence seeing in those videos was seeing that it was actually Black girls making like stuff that was good, and I was like, oh, like I said, I can do that. You feel me? It made me feel a little bit more comfortable seeing people like me do stuff like that. And basically, what was the other question? What did you say after that?
Oh, so, just a
2 for 1.
Yeah, just some of the biggest influence in those music videos, and what were maybe some of your favorites?
I'd say definitely Nicki Minaj, Ciara, Rihanna. I'd say those are the big 3 that was the most like influential, in my creativity and wanting to do stuff like this.
I gotcha. So how do you think growing up in Louisville shapes the art you create and how you create it? Like, what do you think what do you think it is about like somebody who's from or like grows up around Louisville and brings to the table as an artist that's unique?
I feel like the fact that we're from Louisville, it always gives us like 10 points because I feel like we're really slept on.
Yeah.
And I feel like if you're not from Louisville or if you haven't really been to Louisville and hung with the right people, you wouldn't know about the gems, the people, the places, just the events and stuff like that. Because I love my city. I feel like our city is very creative. Whenever they do want to come together and do something, they definitely come together and they show out. Yeah. And just, I can't really like find words to explain, like our art, It's just like when people say like Louisville really doesn't have a sound in music,
Right.
I feel like it might be because we're really different.
Yeah.
So, but eventually, we're definitely gonna get that. I think Bryson Tiller definitely made a wave though, like with the trap soul.
Yeah.
He definitely created a genre. So yeah, shout out to him.
Absolutely. So, what was some of your first experiences performing live, and how has it impacted you going forward?
My first performance was probably okay. My first two performances. This was actually the same week. My first one was at a club called Legends.
Shouts out
It was
Legends. Is that in Cincinnati?
No, Legends is actually here.
Oh.
It's actually like it's shut down. It's a whole nother club now. It's actually A20 now. It's in like the West End on Broadway.
Oh.
But this was definitely like a 21 and up event. I was definitely in high school. So it was like my friends couldn't even come to the event. Like I put up with my daddy and my uncles. So it was probably like 6 people there. But I had the time of my life. I looked beautiful and I had my peoples with me. So I enjoyed myself. A couple of days later, I went to this house party that I had got invited to. And I didn't know it was a house party. When she invited me to the party to come perform, I didn't look it up for some reason. But whenever I pulled up, I was like, oh, this is a house. But I'm like, okay, it's sold out, though. Like, people just scattered outside and, like, hanging out the window. It's just, like, a lot going on. I'm like, okay. But I performed, and they was definitely showing love. So I feel like that right there definitely boosted the confidence just because I was like, okay, people my age from where I'm from like me and what I'm doing. I'm not just being delusional. So.
Yeah, I'd love to see. I know that's like something that you see when you're younger, but I'd love to see more house shows in Louisville, like rebelling against like I'd love to see young people rebelling against like the 21 and up, 18 and up shows by just throwing their own house shows. Because as you said, when you're an artist that age, sometimes you really like. I've talked to people, and I've been that myself, where I've been the minor going into the venue that we're not supposed to play at. They sneak us into the back, we perform, and then.
Right. Yeah. It's like if I'm in high school and I'm making, like music that's for my crowd, how am I gonna be able to have like sell out the show if my crowd can't even get in the show? Like that need to be the day that you guys need to make an exhibition of like, okay. Just have your ID. Something. But I don't know. I don't know.
I think it is a tough struggle that venues kind of contend with, like the line between, well, this liquor license is going to make me a lot of money, and then contending with, well, actually young people can come in here and actually like fill the place up.
Facts.
But
and they're going to be the ones that spend the money.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. The all ages shows are the ones that you really move merchandise at those shows. It's not just about the tickets, they want to support you in any way they can. And so if you bring like shirts or hats or something, those are going to move. And those are the most important for like emerging artists or any artist really. Like you can know like you're going to get something from the venue, but you really make your money off the merch at the end of the day, because we know streaming isn't doing anything for us. So
not for the artists anyway.
Yeah.
But yes, look, if you love an artist, like come to their shows and buy their merch. It really helps.
Absolutely. So. Especially that merch.
Especially that merch. So, yes.
So, how did your love for creative writing in high school transform into a full-bodied verses going into your music?
Once again, I feel like it was definitely... I went to Central High School, by the way. I think it was definitely having a good support system, even in high school. My teachers... they just let me not say do whatever I want, because I was never a bad kid, honor roll student, perfect attendance. But like literally just let me be free, especially in creative writing. My creative writing was so cool. I had a teacher named Ms. Dennis, and I had a teacher named Ms. Seckman, the coolest. So it was just like I said, having a village behind you, it definitely like pushes you to do unthinkable things, So to the point when people look at you, they be like, oh, she's crazy. Yep, she is. But guess what? Some people behind her that's crazy about her.
Yeah, absolutely.
They'll make sure she'll try to get it done. But yes, definitely having a good support system.
Yeah. And shouts out to all those great teachers out there.
Right.
Yeah.
Shout out to the teachers that care.
Yeah. Because, we remember and then, easily forget the teachers who didn't, but we remember the teachers who did for the rest of our lives.
Definitely. I can definitely say that for sure. Because I don't know if you know, but I actually was a music teacher last summer and the summer before that for Boys and Girls Club. Oh, I had 120 kids a day.
Holy
from
moly.
like 6 years old to like 18.
Wow.
I'm talking about kids are coming from like the juvenile detention center coming right back to the Boys and Girls Club. So it was like it was a nice experience. I definitely got my one-on-ones with them and like understood where they was coming from and why they acted the way that they did. And I definitely can say that I have definitely made an impact on those 120 kids. Just teaching them different things about life. And then as little as bringing people that's working with me, like my cameraman, shout out to Lord Lettuce. He got a job as the art teacher, awesome. And he brought his camera in. I had studio equipment and stuff inside of my classroom. It was just a dope experience actually being hands-on with those kids because at the end of the day, it's like, I know then they're not going to forget that.
Oh, yeah.
Like, especially when things, like, turn out the way that I plan. It's like, dang, imagine if, like, Nicki Minaj was your old music teacher.
Yeah, absolutely.
Michael Jackson was your old teacher. Like, that's just crazy.
Yeah.
And I'm going to be big like that, so that's why I'm using them as examples. So
that's awesome that you had that opportunity to work with so many kids and have an impact on them.
We were switching them out like it was school.
Oh, yeah.
So it was probably about 40-minute classes, 40 to 50-minute classes. Not take that back. It was definitely 60-minute classes because we didn't have that many rooms. So we would have to, spread them out. Like, even, some groups would even be so big, like 6 to 9, we'll definitely have to have 2 groups of 6 to 9. So it'd be like 6 to 9A, 6 to 9B.
Oh, I got you. Wow.
Like, they that deep.
What sort of, material did you guys cover, or were you able to cover in that amount of time?
So within, and that's the thing, during the 2 months, it was still kids coming in during, the beginning of the second month. It was just, a lot of, in and outs. But definitely just, went through all the genres. I gave them a chance to always express themselves with their favorite songs and stuff like that. We did a project called Hall of Fame. Those big old billboard, the poster boards. Yeah. The ones you rip off. Mm-hmm. So they basically had to draw a picture, but the picture had to be at least 1/3 of the poster. That's why I wanted to be that big to the point when we put it on the wall, it literally looks like a wall of fame.
Right.
So
Yeah.
it was just it was dope seeing them work together because every kid couldn't draw. Every kid can, put colors together and just do different stuff. And they was working with each other and building relationships. The kids that I knew wasn't really as close at the beginning of the summer was best friends at the end. And I can definitely say I was the reason because they was in my class and I had them sitting down and figuring stuff out. Most of the time, kids just need to know that people are different. Yeah. Nobody's acting weird. They're not being fake. Sometimes people do be being fake though, so I'm gonna keep it real with the kids. Mm-hmm. But at the end of the day, they just gotta understand that you can't control everything, and the stuff that you can't control, you can't trip over. So, just trying to teach little stuff, mold them while they're young.
Yeah, that's a really great lesson to instill in young people because...
You're like, she's being mean. No, she's probably just having a bad day.
Yeah. To not let the stuff you can't control take over your life. I mean, that's something that we can remind ourselves of every day. It's wait, I can't control that. I need to not let that affect me in that way. I need to just worry about the things I can control.
And you never know who people are, so don't just be treating them in different ways. A couple of the kids knew who I was whenever I had walked in. The day I did my interview, they was like, "Well, I seen you on YouTube." Mm-hmm. I was like, "Oh, yeah." What did you see on YouTube? And then I'll just be in class and they'll be working on an assignment and I hear my beat through somebody's headphones.
Wow, yeah.
So us as musicians, we know our stuff.
Yeah.
So I'm like,
Oh, yeah.
I done clicked on everybody's computer. I'm like, who's listening to, who's on my stuff?
Yeah.
And I catch them up like, you cannot be on my social media. Like, how did you find me? But that's cool. Like, so you got to watch what you posting too, because you never know who's watching.
That's true.
Even the kids.
That's true.
Not just the labels.
Yeah, that's true. But I'm sure a lot of them were inspired by the beats you made.
Definitely. I feel like when they seen me in R&B mode, because like when I come to work, like I don't do no lashes. Like I'm dressed appropriate as much as I can. I don't really try to do too much. So once they see me, like days after shows, or like I'll go to work and like they'll be on my live when I'm getting ready for a show. They be like, Miss R&B, are you smoking? I'll be like,
no.
oh my gosh, this is crazy. Go to bed. Then I gotta get off live. But just little stuff like that, like it was memories, core memories. So.
Absolutely. I love that. What inspired you to start the Talk to Me podcast, and what have you learned from hosting it so far?
Definitely, I'm gonna start from the second question first. What I learned from it was people definitely want to hear more about me. They like my personality, so that was definitely the reason and it's like going into the first question, that was actually the reason why I started the podcast. I felt like I was making music and people was portraying me one way, but I felt like they needed to see the real me. So it's like sometimes on a podcast, I might have my hair done, might not. Might have my makeup done, I might not. Might be on the couch, might not. So it just showed like me with no filter, basically. And I feel like if you want fans, that's what you need to do. I have a lot of artists that I'm interested in, but I'm not actually sold as a fan. Like if I wanted to come to their show and I had backstage tickets for free, or even just I was a plus one, I don't even know what to bring you. You feel me? I don't know if you like Skittles. I don't know if you like Blue Roses. I don't know. So it's just like I feel like with that podcast, thing that I started with Talk to Me podcast, I definitely feel like it gave me a platform to display myself. Not for the people, but like for the people, but not at the same time. Because I feel like my music was definitely catered to my audience. So I was making stuff that I was around. Most like my hip hop tracks and stuff like that. When I was dropping those tracks, I'm performing at hood events. You feel me? So I'm making songs that cater to that audience. But it's like when I start modeling and I'm acting, I'm being around different crowds of people. Yeah. So it's challenging me as an artist to basically do different things. Right. So that's how I fell into doing different genres. And I feel like being on my podcast, I can talk about stuff like that. I don't always have time to talk to everybody on live, and get deep into different conversations and stuff like that. But definitely, I love having Talk to Me podcasts. People definitely be on me about getting more footage out. We're definitely gonna be on that, but I've just been busy and I want to do it right. Yeah. But that's one thing that I struggle with. Having the podcast definitely helped me notice a flaw that I had, that I'm too hard on myself sometimes. People need to see the come up, you know? So it's like you don't have to have the best setup. You don't have to have the best mics. You don't have to have the best, as long as they can see you and hear you, it's good. So just, trying to be a little bit more confident with releasing content like that. So.
Yeah, I agree. And going back to breaking down that barrier between yourself as the artist and the audience is super important. I definitely have had times when I've listened to artists and I felt like they finally broke down that barrier, like kind of took that character and set it aside. And it's just me and the artist. And that's like a moment that you feel so close to them and it feels personal, and definitely. I feel like what instills a real fan in me for somebody is when they kind of set everything aside and it sounds like they're talking directly to me, especially in those moments when
it's like talk to me.
Like sometimes we hear those songs, they're like, this song is like about my situation. Like nobody understands how I feel until I hear the song by this artist and they perfectly describe how I feel. So I know that I'm not alone in this situation, and that breaks down this barrier. And it's like, these are just two humans like sharing an experience together, you know, even if we've never met each other. It's through this music, and you can understand so well that they understand, and that's really meaningful to bring out.
Definitely.
What can you tell us about Lovely Ambition and what inspired you to start your own business?
So Lovely Ambition is my clothing brand. I definitely have not been pushing it, but I definitely had to lock in the name. My last name is Lovely. So somebody was like, you really need to like start using your last name for something.
Yeah.
Sorry, y'all. I just ate a float, some ice cream, and some soda before I walked in here. But basically, I just wanted to lock in the name. Definitely need to lock in with getting the merch out. But it's actually really expensive. So this year, I'm going to try to definitely make that a focus just because I have been traveling lately. And I definitely need to be like, you know, leaving these cities with more than just my music. So.
Yeah, we're definitely looking forward to seeing like a shop open online and
something,
or doing like pop-up events. I know those do really well in most cities where you kind of just have like a one day only kind of sale, and that scarcity kind of breeds like a good amount of sales going forward.
And you definitely get to see who's all watching too.
Absolutely,
like when you do stuff like that, you be like, oh, I'm sold out.
It can be a cool fan meetup moment too, where you can kind of meet up with fans, but they're helping you or in another avenue.
You can get those one-on-ones, you know?
Exactly.
Like, it's how you build core fans. Core fans, I feel like you can have streams. That's cool. But do you have fans?
Right.
Do you feel me? Like, do you have people who would get you tatted? Do you have people that would fly across the world to come see you for one night? Probably don't even get to talk to you, but they came to see you, you know? Just different stuff. Have posters of you on the wall. Look up to you just, you know, not even musically, but just as a person. The way somebody could be eating, the way they're working out. I feel like NLE Choppa, it's crazy because we was talking about him when I was in Atlanta a couple of days ago. But, like, he's definitely, not saying he's the best role model, but he's a good role model because, like, I feel like he's confident in what he drops. And then especially him being a black man, especially like black men that actually look nice, they don't really get to flaunt their confidence because then it comes off as cocky.
Yeah.
You know? And he does that without making people feel, how can I say, like, he does that without basically like trying to hurt people's feelings or make like basically throw shade. He's like, I'm just loving myself, you know? And like, that's one thing that we have to work on as much as just people. Not even as me being black, but just as people, we need to embrace loving ourselves. So when we see people doing it, it's not intimidating. You know?
Right. I think people showing love to themselves can. I'm sure there's a stigma that can come from it where people are like, oh, that's they see it as ego. But
literally.
I think I agree. Where if we see, especially young people, seeing their role models love themselves, then it makes those young people easier to love themselves.
I think he's like vegan. I think and everything. Like I don't even know if he's vegan. Like, but all I know is like he don't eat no meat. He only drinks a certain type of water. Like, he's really serious about his body and what he puts in it. And I feel like as an artist, we definitely, like, as creators, we definitely know the importance of what you putting out into the world. Because when you put stuff in your body, it releases something in your body and you start to really act like it. You act sluggish and stuff. So
you are what you eat.
You really are what you eat. So it's like if you want to be the dopest and you want to be healthy and you want to be everything right, you need to be eating everything right. Because then that's when then you can like perform the best.
I agree.
So.
Especially where all this this kind of bad food that's out there is so normalized. I think that we're at the peak of normalizing, like just eating candy or having these like really fast food kind of lifestyle. It's just so normalized, and maybe people forget that's not maybe an everyday thing.
It's not do. Like when you go to other countries, the air is different. You can smell the fruits and vegetables. It's different. You can smell the spices from miles away. Right. Like it's just totally different. I definitely need to get my passport soon and start traveling. Where would you like to go if you can go anywhere?
I'd probably like to go to maybe just around Europe first, because I've heard you can just travel to all the countries like on a train, pretty much within like that whole continent.
What? Okay.
And Japan would be cool.
That's one round trip.
And Europe, because you can go to all these different countries, and Japan because you can go across the country in one day.
That's dope too. I love how Japan looks.
Me too. I've pretty much I've trained my Instagram algorithm like, to the point where I'm like, I don't want to see this. I don't want to see this.
He's manifesting living in Japan.
And so a good quarter of my videos that show up are just like rural Japan or trains.
So don't be trying to disappear on us, because I'm going to know you in Japan and I'm going to come find you.
You'll know where I am.
I'm like, Chris, what you doing?
Exactly. Where would you like to travel to first?
Oh my goodness. I don't know. I have so many friends from different places in the world. My friends actually I had 2 friends in Japan at the same time. Different reasons. But like, I definitely want to go to Africa. I want to go to Dubai. And then it's like, I feel like, even like when you say Africa, it's different parts of Africa, you know? So I don't really want to go to like the resort side where it's like too resorty to the point where I'm not getting any culture. But at the same time, I don't want to be like, you know, in danger. So I just want to go to like a good mixture, a little safe spot. So I don't really know. I can't put my finger on it. Let me just think. If I can pick anywhere in the world, look at me being dramatic. I'll say... I'm just going to say Jamaica right now. I'm just going to say Jamaica. No, I'll take that back. Cuba or Mexico. Yeah. I don't know. Mexico.
Cool. Yeah, I know there's a lot.
It's so many places. Yeah. I'm just a girl.
We want to go everywhere.
Yeah.
Eventually.
Yes.
Yeah.
Definitely.
I think travel is more important to some people, but I think it's a really critical part of life. You know, we have this earth that we're given, and it would be wonderful to be able to, you know, travel and see it all.
Definitely. Yeah. Like, why do I have to pay to see the world that y'all haven't even paid for?
Right.
It's not even your earth.
Right.
You know?
Mm-hmm.
So you should just, like, build us some trains so we can just start going places. All you have to do is America and even the other countries. All you have to do is just act right. They might build the trains.
Get some, like, really great public transportation. Like, back to Japan.
They already building flying cars, I think. We probably just don't see them, but they definitely got them.
Right.
I don't know what they're going to do, because if we got flying cars, how you going to stop us?
I don't know. It's going to be...
The domes? Oh, my gosh. Look, okay. I'm not going to lie. I grew up on The Simpsons, so I ain't even going to say that.
Oh, right. The dome. Yep. I know exactly what you're talking about. So can you tell us the... most rewarding aspect of releasing Pressure and venturing into the R&B genre?
Definitely the shock, just because even people in my family didn't know I sang. So it was more of like, you keep saying you don't like my music, but you haven't heard all of it.
Right.
And this is a little piece.
You started singing like about 6-7 months ago?
Yes, definitely. And definitely grew tremendously throughout those 6-7 months. I'm looking to getting a vocal coach. I haven't had a vocal coach yet. But just seeing the progress that I've made with myself is definitely rewarding itself. I performed for my high school, and it was actually on the news for like the International Day of the Woman. Central High School. I did that this year. That was really dope. What else? What else was dope with Pressure? I've been on the radio twice. I sung Pressure on the radio twice.
Awesome.
Live.
Wow.
That was different. The first time I did not know. Well, both of the times I didn't know I was going to be singing. Like when I pulled up to the interview for Louisville, shout out Louisville. I'm thinking that we're going to be pulling up to like a radio station and we're going to be sitting down at the radio. We're walking inside the building and it's all these different radio station setups, but we're walking right to the back. I'm like, where are they taking us? It's like a whole live setup, like with instruments and lights and microphone setup. I'm like, are we about to perform? Like, what is going on? They're like, yeah, we're about to perform live. I was like, oh, okay. Wow. And then when I was in Atlanta a couple weeks ago, they was playing the song, and in the middle of it, I was like, and so they pushed the button on me, and I was really singing it. And they was like, wow, she sounds just like the song. And I was like, that's awesome. See, y'all try to get me.
I can't imagine, like, I know that would be like a panic moment for me where it's like, oh, I'm going to be singing this live? Okay. I think that's the spontaneity that's asked of you as an artist, though, because people will just ask these things of you, like on the spot.
People be like, oh, you rap right now.
Oh my God, that's the
I'd
thing
be like, give me
$1.
Right. You want me to freestyle? Give me $1 right now.
That's the thing I hear the most from artists, especially in hip hop and rap, is like if they're at a family function or if they hear you rap and like, oh, well, rap for me. It's like,
that's crazy.
You just want me to spill my heart out to you right now, like.
And my thing is like, I have an Instagram. You can just look on my Instagram. You don't have to make this an awkward moment.
Yeah, I've like curated these pieces of art in these forms for you.
And as an artist, I definitely respect. Just knowing to give artists their space. I've been around a lot of celebrities during my journey, and I can say every time they don't want people taking pictures of them. They don't want to be recorded. They don't want to be listening to even their music, you know?
Yeah. Sometimes
they just want to break from being that famous person. They want to just, be a human. Yeah. So, just stuff like that. It's why it's always like intimate moments and places that I'm at when somebody does something like that, and it's kind of annoying because I'm like, bro, we at the family reunion.
Yeah.
No, I'm not about to rap. Back up, like back up. I'm trying to get something to drink. I'm hot.
Yeah, it's not like you ask like somebody, a member of the family who like paints to like set up an easel and paint for me real quick.
That's what I'm saying. Like, and it's like. When people do that, because I'm blunt. I'm a very blunt person. I'll be like, so what do you do? I'll be like, well, where's your stuff at? Pull it out and let me see.
Yeah. That's basically what you're doing to me. Yeah.
Because, and it's like, it's the demeanor that you're doing. Like, I feel like it's giving me, you don't believe that I rap. You don't believe that I sing. So it's like, for me to have to prove to somebody that I don't even know anything is crazy. Like, I don't even know you. I shouldn't be having to prove anything to you at all. Even if I did know you, I don't have to prove nothing to you. So the fact that you're challenging me is crazy.
Yeah. So. And it's the same people who start like use the word. It's the same people who approach you saying, how's your little rap thing going? How's your little business going?
How's your little rap? Do it full time. Okay.
Yeah. That's always that slight that people kind of do to just belittle you going in, and it's like, all right. And then they ask you to rap in front of them.
It's definitely shady to me. I'm sorry. I feel like it's shady whenever people do, how's your little rapper?
Yeah.
Why would you say that?
Why would we start with little here?
Look, I'm so up and coming, not little.
So, how do you manage to push your music independently as like a up and coming artist without like the backing of like this huge industry label? And how do you find yourself like going through that process of like pushing your own music?
It's more really just on. I have my mind set on something that I'm trying to do.
Right.
I love music, but music's just gonna get me one step closer to what I'm trying to do. Without saying too much about it. definitely being, how can I say this without sounding messy? The fact that people do be hating, I feel like it makes me go a little bit harder because it's like, oh, you didn't expect that from me. Why not?
Yeah.
Like, why didn't you think that I can get better? You know?
Yeah.
Why didn't you think one day that I will grow up? Because I'm a human, just like everybody else. And people can grow, people can change, people can get better. So it's just like, I don't know. I just appreciate the people that took a chance with me. And I just try to push myself as much as I can every day. And sometimes I'm definitely learning, like right now, I'm definitely learning to take off days because doing this full time is different whenever you haven't had nobody buy a feature in a month or two. Mm-hmm. You haven't had a hosting in a month or two. For instance, I've been in Atlanta building relationships, and when I take my trips, I'm out there for 10, 13 days at a time, not making money. You know, so because it's like I'm around the right people, but at the end of the day, they have to realize that I'm actually good. It's different whenever I'm meeting people with clothes and stuff, and they do Atlanta Fashion Week, but it's like they never see me really walk in person. Just because they see me at an event and I'm walking and I'm cute, it don't mean nothing. But they don't know if I'm dependable. They don't know if I'm organized. They don't know if, how I carry myself on social media because we haven't even probably exchanged social media. It's just little things like that. And even when I do exchange social media, sometimes people want to look at their future investment, just a little bit longer without letting them know. So just taking risks and doing stuff like that has definitely molded me more into like an independent woman, just in general, because going out there, building relationships, and doing this by yourself is not easy.
I can't imagine, no.
And it's not, it's kind of scary, especially just because I be paranoid. So I'll be like, you want me to what? Where? By myself? Okay.
Yeah.
So definitely that.
Yeah, actually, that's hard to balance all that.
Like, I'm 110 pounds.
Yeah.
People be like, you scared to go? I'm like, yes, I am scared to go halfway around the world by myself. Yes.
Oh yeah,
I'm just a girl.
When you're traveling
like,
so
I
far.
My daddy?
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
So you talked about having to take some breaks. How else do you find that you balance your various roles and maintain the creative energy at the same time?
Like, what's something that balanced me during like being busy and stuff?
Right. Yeah. So I think it's easy for people to look at artists like you and say,
got it all together.
She's got creative. She's on all the time.
I am dramatic. Yeah. I am a crybaby. I put my eyelashes on in the car before I was coming in here when I was on the phone. I'm a human being. I'm a young lady growing into a grown woman. So definitely go back to having a village. When I go home and my mama sees me that like I'm coming in the house 4 a.m. and my shoes are still on and I'm sleeping on the couch. She's tired. Take her shoes off. Yeah. Put a cover on her. When I get up, it'd probably be some breakfast. So having that definitely helps me out tremendously because I feel like you know how it is whenever you're in the studio and you're recording. We be forgetting to eat.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
We be forgetting to eat, sleep, text y'all back, and everything. So it's just like, it's not intentional. We just be locked in. So having a village, even my friends tell me, girl, sit down. You've been moving around, da-da-da-da. My friends, they do hair. Shout out to Day Stylist. Shout out to the Ballet. Shout out to Precision Nails. You know what I mean? My friends. Nice. My friends definitely keep me together too. Not even just as an artist, just as a young lady, So, yeah.
You definitely can't put the importance of friends under it all.
Yes.
And family, for sure. What advice would you give aspiring artists who are looking to explore multiple creative fields like yourself?
Not saying don't be on social media at all, but like I post my stuff, I get on there and I interact with people and then I'm off. Because you can really fall into a rabbit hole. And not even just with social media. Like, you can fall into a rabbit hole being around the wrong crowd of people. I didn't grow up in the best neighborhood, and like on my birthday, my parents was amazed seeing all the different people. Like, I had a reservation for 13 people. I probably had about 38 people come.
Wow.
And shout out to Blaze. He brought his saxophone. A lot of my friends do music, so I had like 5, 6 people saying happy birthday in different ways. And everybody, like all my friend groups are really diverse. So it's like people coming from all around the world, you know, all different type of races walking in. My daddy's not, we're all blunt. He's like, how you know my daughter? Like, where you meet her at? Like, just stuff like that. And just seeing them actually interact with my friends and see that this is like, you know, who their daughter is definitely, you know, like a pat on the back and something for me to be proud about.
That's awesome. What would you say is something that you go back to every day that keeps you motivated? Like, maybe if you're having like an off day, is there something that keeps you motivated, like going
God,
day to day?
praying. Sometimes I just be needing to reset. And just some signs.
Mm-hmm.
Some signs that I'm not tripping. Sometimes some signs that things are going the right way. And I'm just now learning that, like, it's whenever you know, like when so much stuff is happening, we get overwhelmed. We think, oh, something bad's about to happen.
Yeah.
I'm just now getting to the point in life where it's like I don't get that feeling no more. When I think, oh my gosh, something good, like it's going to get some. No, I feel like I'm a good person and I'm living life exactly how I'm supposed to live it. You know,
Yeah.
So good stuff happens all the time, and I just feel like whenever you do good by people, even when people's not looking, God definitely, you know, repays you for that and protects you. So, definitely God be saving me and a lot of people.
Yeah, I love that.
Yes.
What are some of the biggest challenges you've had to face as a full-time artist, and how do you find yourself overcoming them?
That most relationships are temporary. Not all of them, but most. And I feel like as an artist, you find out the relationships that you feel like mean the most to you aren't really as strong as you thought. Whenever it's something that you're trying to do that people won't understand. Because when you have a relationship with somebody and they love you and they support you no matter what, it doesn't matter what you do and it doesn't matter if they understand you, they're going to be there. So I lost best friends, I lost relationships, I lost associates, all just because I'm not okay with people not supporting me no more that's around me. It's one thing if I don't know you, but if you're around me, I like a comment, a share.
Right.
I didn't ask you to buy tickets. I didn't ask you to buy a shirt.
Mm-hmm.
But you can like it, you can comment, and it's free. So,
yeah. That's a very real answer. I appreciate you saying that, because the relationships, however much they mean to you, there is a real side to it that you have to pay attention to.
Even if I decided to want to be a painter, if I wanted to spend my days in the garage painting all day, my mom would be like, "Oh, you went? What are you gonna do?" But then whenever I sell this painting that I just slapped with a tree and some paint for $50,000, then she's in love with me.
Suddenly you're validated.
Yeah. So it's like. I definitely feel like coming from my family, I feel like everybody's quite focused. They have great jobs. But I was one of the kids who did not go to college. And they was confused about it because, like I said, I was always good in school. Mm-hmm. So me not going to college was like, what? What is she doing? Right. What is she doing in the studio? And their perspectives from one other people's. And I feel like people that don't do music all have the same perspective on what they think goes on in the studio.
Yeah.
Most of the time, we be in there like this.
Yeah.
Waiting on somebody to get done with their part. But we make timeless stuff to make y'all dance. and be able to express yourself on your stories in the car when you riding with that girl and she's acting sneaky and she don't know that you know, but you get to play that one song because we made that song.
Yes.
Little stuff like that.
Yes. Yeah. Making music for those specific times is amazing.
Definitely.
How has your outlook on life and music evolved since you started your journey with music?
My outlook on life, definitely you cannot judge.
Mm-hmm.
You could definitely not judge a book by its cover. I've been to parties at sketchy bars and met people whose style, people like Steve Harvey, Lori Harvey, Lala. Like my friend Ellie that I just met at the bar in Atlanta, he was just on the red carpet at the Met Gala with Lala. Like, and I think it's Carmelo Anthony's wife.
Oh my God.
You feel me? So it's like, we just met at the bar, like, we just talking. He's like, I love your outfit. We just spending the whole night with each other, just having fun. And he's like, yeah, I style. Here's my Instagram. And it's like the next day when I look, I'm like, he has 100,000 followers.
Oh my gosh.
Like, you style celebrities. I thought you just style. Like, you said it just style. Like, no, nigga, you style. So, definitely that. Even like I said, when it goes back to the, you rap, let me hear you rap.
Yeah.
So don't judge a book by its cover.
Yeah. Especially when you run into those people, they tend to underplay, you know.
Yep. I just had a couple. I just had it's like I had that interaction when I went to Atlanta a couple times. And I made them pay me $1 to freestyle. And they was surprised. It was so funny because one of the dudes pulled out his phone before I even started because he thought he was going to, catch me slipping up or something.
Right, yeah.
And I was like, wow, little did he know. I'm about to spit. But that was funny.
That's great that you're just mentally ready for those moments now. And just definitely. Like, what to expect. The phones are coming out.
Because you never know who you're going to run into. You never know, you never know. I'd have been backstage for an artist, and next thing you know, I'm with their granddad. But I don't even know if it's their granddad because we just laughing. Like, we just having a good time behind stage. We like, oh, what are those? Like, you feel me? I'm telling him, oh, them are the red boots. People used to wear the big red boots.
Yeah. Like,
I'm at a concert, and it's one person, you feel me? And I don't really want to say the name, but, like, we're backstage, and they have, like, the family and friends room, and then he has his personal dressing room. I'm in the family and friends room. All the girls is all dressed giving Y2K. But it's cold outside. So I have on jeans and a shirt and a jacket.
Oh, my God.
And a hat. And that's how me and the man started talking. Because he was like, you're the only one with some clothes on, with some common sense. I'm like, yeah, I'm cold. Like, they trying to find him a friend. So that's how we ended up clicking. And then somebody had walked in with the big red shoes. And to end up finding out that, like, it was his granddaddy. I'm like, whoa.
Wow.
So that mean it was your mama that we was talking. I'm putting two and two together. I'm like, wow. Like, I might not have been able to take the picture with the celebrity, but I'm invited to his first cousin's wedding.
Right, yeah. Never judge a book by its cover.
Definitely, because you know how it is, especially like a club nights, people be talking about different stuff. Like, one of the cousins had walked up. He's like, oh yeah, I'm about to get married, da-da-da-da. They showing, it's like a new couple. They showing us, where they about to get married. I'm like, no. That's actually all right. But the price that y'all saying that y'all paying for that, y'all can go here and get it cheaper. And just hooking people up. Because I'm like, my cousin just got married. Like, right here. Boom. And like, I met somebody in 15 minutes and they saved over like $20,000. So it was like, it was a good conversation.
Yeah, absolutely.
By the punch bowl. But I love for moments like that. I feel like that's what life's really about, love. And a lot of people forget that that's the real meaning of life. Love and, just being nurturing to each other.
Absolutely. Agreed. Yeah, at the end of the day, like, you will... At the end of your life, you'll have all these things, but it's really the people and the love around you that will matter the most.
And it'd be the people who don't even know you for real who show you the most love. It would be so crazy. And that's one thing that I've learned. Like I said, you can't judge a book by its cover because some people would not saying that you shouldn't put your family over certain people, but it's like sometimes your family will be the people who do you the worst. You know, they know your weaknesses, and you just got to be mindful when it comes to stuff like that. Definitely, me as an artist, I definitely feel like it woke me up to getting people out of the way that don't need to be around me. Like, if you keep making me feel depressed, if you keep making me feel like I'm less than a woman, keep making me feel insecure, I can't be around you, and I don't want to. I don't need to be, and you just don't, just cut that off. And it's like, we're not enemies, but you're just not for me. You feel me? So we just don't need to do this.
That kind of leads me to my next question, like with like cutting negative people from your life. What roles do mindfulness and self-care play into your day-to-day and also your creative process?
So definitely like self-care. I don't have any like face care routines and stuff like that, but working out, it wasn't just like something I was doing to change my body. I feel like it was training my mental because I was pushing myself way harder. I feel like if I can push myself in everything else that I do, why can't I push myself in the gym? And it was just a challenge that I wanted to try. I did cheerleading and gymnastics for about 10 years growing up. So just putting myself back into like the athletic mindset of, having that drive. Yeah. And seeing yourself sweat. I don't like sweating. So, but it's different whenever you can feel your body just feel different, walking, the way you breathe, the way you sleep, the way you eat. I feel like me doing music, and just being an artist in general, a creative, I stress a lot. So I don't really sleep as much because I'm always trying to get stuff done. I don't eat as much because I'm always trying to get stuff done. But when I make time to go to the gym, it makes me hungry. Right. So I'm extra hungry. So it's like, oh, I gotta get something to eat. Yeah. So it's like, adding good habits to the routine to help me make more good habits, basically.
Yeah, I think that's great advice. Just create good habits for yourself.
Definitely. Reading books, eating, going to the gym, doing stuff by yourself. You don't always need somebody with you. Yeah. I ain't gonna lie. Today, I have not played no music in my car.
Oh, yeah. I think that's something I've talked about before with people where
like my radio's turned off. Like it works, but I just have not listened. Like when I pulled up to your house, I was like, oh, I have not listened to no music. Because like when I pulled up, I usually turn my music down. It's just a habit. So whenever I get in the car and I play music, it's not blasting. Right. So I turned out, I was like, oh, it's not even on. I was like, dang, I didn't even notice.
Yes. Sometimes you really need a break. You can't listen to music all the time. You get kind of burnt out.
Definitely.
Especially if someone who is around music way more than your average person. Sometimes your average person, they listen to music when they're on their way to work and that's it. And so that's their music time.
Right.
But going from a show into the studio and then into your car,
and then the car,
and then it's like by the time you get to the car, like, do I really want to listen to music again?
No, I just left the studio. I just left the studio. So definitely just give yourself a break. So then when you give yourself a break, you can reset and you can think and you can do what you need to do. You can perform the best of your ability whenever you can be your best self.
Absolutely. Yeah. I think rest, just ear fatigue is real when it comes to listening to music. I've described it as like that same feeling when like you say a word over and over again, or you hear a word until it doesn't make sense. The same thing can happen to a song. If you're in the studio and you're listening to that same part or that's the same track over and over, it's like the 200th time and you're like, I need to actually step away.
People be like, how long does it take to get a song mixed? I'm like, look, I'm not the engineer and I'm not engineering it, so I don't know. Yeah. Like, it might take 2 days. It might take 2 weeks. Some people take 2 years. Absolutely. So it just depends on who's engineering it and what they want it to sound like. Yeah. And what they're starting with. because I feel like if you starting with something that needs a lot of work, of course it's going to be a little bit more time in the mixing and the mastering. But like when the artist is really hitting the notes how they supposed to and they have the stacks already, it's just a little bit more of like chop, screw, plug, drag, twist, drop.
Yeah. A bit more just automated where it can just go smoothly, which I always appreciate. It's very interesting to see like how somebody can get a Grammy winning song done in like a night, or like the same kind of song that gets done in, as you said, like 2 years.
Yeah.
It just really depends on the process. It's like, this one song, it's like, well, we're going to need a whole orchestra to come in.
Right.
Need, like,
and that's why it took 2 years, because it might have took me... Sorry to cut you off, but it might be why it would have took 2 years, and people that don't do music don't understand that too. They just hear, it took 2 years to for me to finish this song, but they don't understand I was still dealing with that person, so it had to wait 2 years so I can break up with him finally, so I can get the emotions out. I've been going to this church, I've been volunteering, so now I got a choir to do this. It's just different stuff. That can just, basically go into making that song that might take 2 years.
Yeah, I think that is something that is important that most people don't understand about the process, is that the buck doesn't stop at the artist. It's like the artist is usually the one who's the most ready, who's got everything ready, and then has to wait on distribution, album artwork.
Because we have to get it, once we get it submitted, we have to wait to see if it's approved. Yeah. Can you believe that?
Yeah, if it's approved.
So, and it's not just you posted it on this and then it's copyrighted. No, you got to go to other websites and copyright it extra a couple more times. Yeah. You'd be like, dang, I feel like if I upload it on this show and BMI, what more do I need to do? A lot.
Yeah, that's...
a lot. And if you don't know, I'm sorry. I don't really have courses running right now, but just look on YouTube. I promise you. And that's not being mean. If you have questions, just look on Google.
YouTube University is the best place to get.
Look on Google, on Reddit, or something. Please.
So we touched lightly on it, but could you walk us through like your creative process of creating like a new track, like? First, like with like the inspiration, all the way down to when you get to with Dylan or Latreille, and like how does that process look for you as an artist?
As at the beginning of me being an artist, I definitely used to be a lot more prepared. So I will come to the studio with 7 to 10 songs written, like they already done. Only thing I need to do is record it.
Right.
Now that I've built relationships and I have a little bit more access to recording equipment, it's more of just it's freestyling. Most of the songs are punched in. I don't think as hard and be so hard on the lyrics and the songwriting. And I'm just a little bit more confident because I'm there to experiment while I'm recording. I feel like whenever you play a beat, it's different when you can hear yourself in front of the mic with the headphones and then you trying to write the song, other than whenever you in your head trying to write the song.
Oh yeah, totally.
You have a lot more time when you at home and you're writing, other than whenever Dylan or Latreille's right here and it's like Latreille got a wife. He don't got time to be sitting here all night. Yeah. Dylan might have something to go do. He don't got time to be sitting here all night. So get it out. Yeah. So that's definitely just something that I keep in mind whenever I'm trying to create. So I let them know if like I have a brain fart, look, I have a brain fart. We're just going to stop this. We're going to stop this. We're going to bounce this out. And we're just going to vibe out for the rest of the session. So just knowing whenever it's time to actually take a pause in the session as well. Don't force the music. But yeah, I used to write a lot, but now I'm really more like just punching in.
Do you find you work better in the studio environment where you're in front of the microphone writing kind of line for line, or do you find still you work better in that, in a room by yourself and then bringing it to the studio?
I wouldn't say it's one or the other. It's definitely both. I feel like I really be making my hard stuff like when I just be by myself and not just be like in a random spot. Like I'll be like waiting in line for some food or something. I'll make a dope hook. But even the stuff, I feel like the stuff that I'm making with my friends at the moment is a little bit more memorable and honorable, you know, because like not saying me making a hookup in the drive-thru is not really something to be proud of, because it is, but it's just more, you know, it's memories that I can share with others, other than me creating by myself with, you know, nobody to share it with at the moment.
Right.
So,
How do you handle different creative visions when collaborating with either like another producer or with like a feature on ours? Like if you're asked to be a feature on a song, how do you find yourself approaching like usually like what's the theme, you know, and then like how do you find yourself approaching yourself melding with their energy and chemistry?
So the first thing I do is like do a deep dive into that artist, listen to a couple of their tracks. That way, then I can hear their voice on different tracks, because it might be a beat that both of us is new to, but I might have heard his voice on a certain track that I liked a certain pitch, you know? So I can be like, oh, I heard this one song that you did 2 years ago, and you had this, I think you should do this flow, you know?
Yeah.
So being that type of intrigued into the music and creating, I feel like that helps me be a good artist while creating and building relationships with artists. Letting people take their time. I feel like a lot of people, whenever they're in the room creating with people, they just get a little bit nervous because they're like, oh, like, is she gonna leave?
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
But come on. And if you don't got it right now, we can come back, you know? But don't waste my time if you know, like, it's just not coming to you right now. Just say we need to wrap it up and do another day. We're humans.
Yeah. Yeah, I think, that's really great advice. Just do some research on, and listen to how versatile their flow can be, or, you know, their inflection can be. So, you know, if maybe how to approach it yourself, and also maybe anticipate how they'll be approaching the song as well.
Yeah. Even me too, because like I have songs like my only singing song that I have out is Pressure right now, but I have other singing songs that I'm singing in different tones. You know, so it's like let's go back to not judging a book by its cover. Actually being in the room with each other and in front of their microphone.
Yeah.
And then you can actually see what somebody's capable of doing.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, that is real. Yeah, because somebody can have this thing kind of produced or put together in some curated way, but you really do see how, you know, it's made, or the music they make is done when they're in the studio.
Right, yeah, because I might have a whole song written out, and then when I get into the studio and get in front of the microphone and I hear my voice, I might start just punching in and freestyling and won't even use what I just written down. It happens to me a lot, and I just feel like that's just the magic of the music.
Yeah.
It's the magic. It's our superpower of us being artists. So
is knowing when it works and when it doesn't work. Is being able to actually press that button and knowing this is not going to work. Or just like even like being there and not even having to read the lyrics. Being like, okay, I know how this was in my head is not going to work.
Yeah, because I'll say something and I'd be like, that's not right. They'd be like, it sounds right. I'm like, it's not right, Dylan. Like, I can hear it in my head.
Yeah.
But y'all can't hear it because I can't say it right.
Yeah.
But definitely.
Yeah, and it's those small moments that I've definitely, like, we've approached these small moments in the studio where it's like, if the artist doesn't like it, it can't be in there. No matter how many people in the room are hyping it up, no, it's so good, because at the end of the day, the artist is going to be the one who's going to listen to it, and they're going to hear the part, and it's going to eat at them, and then they're not even going to like the song and try to forget about the song when they're trying to, when they have to like push it. It's like you have to be proud of every second of that track.
Definitely. But and that's the thing too. I feel like as an artist, I have been around people who just, you know, like me as a person and like what I do. So they just, whenever I do something, they just automatically say it's good. But I stopped hanging around those people, not because I'm not friends with them or anything, but just because it's just not what I need right now. I need, whenever I do a take, I need somebody to be like, that's ass. Right. Like when I was just with Dylan, I told him I was coming to do the podcast. I was like, yo, remember? He was like, oh, remember when you did that session? I was like, oh my gosh, that was so bad. He's like, yeah, that shit was ass. I was like, It was.
Yeah.
I was like, I was just not. I had a long day, and I felt like it was one of those, like, I knew I had the session booked, so I was like, I'm not going to be late.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to make it. And then I still try to push a song out that I was not ready to record.
Yeah, I think it's definitely, I definitely think it is important and artists talk about this all the time, not surrounding yourself with yes men.
Mm-hmm,
And
definitely.
because we see it at the very top where there's artists who may make questionable decisions because the people they surround themselves could never bring themselves to say no or say, I think that's whack.
No, for real.
Because they've gotten to this point of validation where no one, it seems, can say no to them. And so they really do look at the people closest to them to say, you got to tell me this is whack or this is bad. And if they don't, then you're going to put out something because you start creating your own world and living in your own world when you get to that point. And you need people to bring you down. That's why you need mom or dad or
literally,
like a friend.
She'd be like,
to be like,
she'd be like, I don't like that one, but the other one was a good one.
Right.
I'd be like,
and
what did you like about it? She'd be like, the beat was too loud. I'm like, see, that's why you have to ask people what they didn't like. Because I played you a song, and you said you don't like the song.
Right.
Whole time you didn't like that the beat was a little bit louder than my voice.
Right.
That can get fixed.
Yeah. And that's super important too, because when we hear somebody say, I don't like the song you made, you automatically go to what you think is wrong. And you're just like, oh, it's the lyrics. The lyrics just weren't hitting. But as you said, it could be somebody who's just like, I just thought the beat was too loud. And it's like, God forbid you just rewrote all of your lyrics. And they're like, yeah, no, I still don't like it. Why? Well, the beat's too loud. I don't know why you changed all the lyrics.
Why are you changing the lyrics?
Yeah.
You should just ask the person what they didn't like about the song. And they would have told you, I can't hear your lyrics. I can't understand what you're saying, so that's why I don't like it. The beat is too loud.
Yeah.
But definitely.
Finding that person who genuinely cares and wants about you and your music and wants you to succeed, so that what they say is genuine, and that they're going to tell you why, even if it's hard for them to kind of explain. They'll get there and you'll understand why they don't like that certain song. So that is extremely important. To have people just bring you back down to earth and tell you that that's not it.
I tend to keep myself around those people a lot because not in the bad way, but I am delusional. I feel like trying to do the stuff that we do, especially trying to do it full time, you have to be a little bit crazy.
Yeah.
You have to be a little bit delusional to the point where when stuff turns out the way you know it's gonna be, everybody else is looking like, oh. It's like, didn't I tell y'all?
Yeah.
So, just that for real. Like, I don't know. Yeah.
I totally agree with that. Talk about your lyricism for a moment. What role does storytelling play in your music, and also in your writing? How do you like to approach a song when you're writing it? Do you like to go more of a storytelling way, or do you like to speak directly to your audience, or is it more of a letter to yourself, or how do you visualize when you're doing a song's lyrics?
It really depends on the environment that I'm working in, and it definitely depends on what I'm talking about.
Mm-hmm.
Depending on what I'm talking about would be a little bit, all of that, like the environment and what I'm talking about, it definitely can change like the process of how it's done. And what was I about to say? I'm sorry, I'm having a brain fart. But repeat your question again, please.
Yeah. So, how do you approach writing lyrics to a song, and what role does storytelling play in those lyrics?
So it's so crazy because it's like I don't really try to. When I'm sad, I don't try to make sad music because it just don't come out. Mm-hmm. Like it just won't work for me at the moment. I don't feel like I've unlocked that superpower yet
right.
to be that vulnerable at that moment. I feel like it's like one of the things like when only certain good actors can cry on point.
Right.
So different stuff like that. Just being a little bit more vulnerable like that. I feel like I'm quite open with a lot of stuff that I do, but when it comes to expressing myself a little bit more like that, it is kind of difficult. I do tend to make storytelling songs more about like different friends' experiences with love or just work. But it really depends on what kind of song it is, what type of vibe. Like if it's a boom bap, definitely might get a storytelling type of vibe. If it's a TikTok, it might be real catchy and poppy and stuff like that. So it really just depends on the song and the environment and the subject.
Yeah, I like that. Yeah, I totally agree. And it's good to have that versatility, and being able to try all these methods. And I've heard. I talked with Casey Powell, and he talked about he talked about turning the faucet on, and when the faucet's on, like that emotional, when you're like going through a breakup or something, and you writing a breakup song during that can be like the most. It is definitely difficult for some artists to like when it's so real and at the moment to like delve into that while you're experiencing it. I described it as like writing a song during a breakup can feel like being like drowning outside of the boat.
It definitely is.
And while somebody's like throwing you like the lifeline, you're like, wait, I gotta write about my experience.
I'm trying to write about it. Like, y'all broke up. Why are you trying to write about it? Yeah. Just move on. But it's like, no, they need to know. Somebody else feels like this.
Yeah. So it can be hard to write that verse down when you're in the water drowning.
Definitely.
But and also you might say something you might not mean when you're in the water
and you
drowning.
Have to be careful what you put into the world.
Right, especially if it's something very personal about somebody else.
Right. Yeah. Especially people know that you mess with that person too. That's a little messy.
And so it might be I might be better to be back in the boat, being drying off, and then reflect on how that experience affected you.
Right, because how did you flip over on the boat?
Yeah.
Was you sabotaged or was you paddling too hard?
Yeah. So having that kind of the past tense kind of thought of it, and being able to look at it when you're dry and not in the water drowning. But I think we do get some, really great aspects of both from artists, where we've heard those songs like, oh my gosh, when Adele was writing Hello, she was in it. She was in that breakup.
Oh my gosh, it's so funny. Yes. That's not funny. It's the dark humor. I'm sorry.
Right. But it's real. Like these when we hear these artists go, like they're going through those moments, and then compared to the ones that are definitely like reminiscing or thinking back on a experience that happened many years ago about them and what they learned. But I think we definitely get something from both, like, and how close they are to that emotional experience, whether it's happening right now, like that Weekend breakup album that he put out, where it's like, ooh, that's fresh.
Because there's been I've had situations, and I went to the studio. Me and Dylan's like best friends, so like he'll know the situation, what's going on and stuff like that. And like I'll make a song, and it's like like when he's in his mixing part of the song, and like I'm done, I just be like, oh, I'm still sad. He be like, bruh, shut up. Like that dude just gave us a hit. Like just shut up and just listen to it real quick. And next thing you know, I fall in love with the song. Whole time I forgot I wrote about that boy. But then the moment I realized that I wrote about that boy, I get sad again.
Right. And then there's the people who you will be helping, though, who are going through the same experience,
Right. I feel like that's the beauty in it.
It really is.
That's the beauty in the pain.
Yeah, I agree, because when you're that close to it, and somebody else is going through it, and they may feel like they're like really alone in that experience, like then they hear that song, and it's because of that sacrifice you made of getting so close to that emotion that brings them solace.
And talking about it.
Your vulnerability will make somebody else stronger.
It's not even about just the music. Like people lose like a child or a family member, a mom, anything like that, and they go to these different support groups, and they're talking to each other about how they was grieving and the things they just did to help them, like just stay focused and feeling like their self. Because I feel like a lot of people don't understand. Like when you lose somebody, people be like, "Oh, I will never be the same." You're totally right.
Yeah.
Because that girl had it's like, say if you lost your father, like that girl had a dad. This one doesn't. So now you need to realize, you feel me, how you need to be moving, how you need to be carrying yourself and treating people and just going on about life differently because you are not the same person anymore. And people don't understand that. And once they do, I feel like life will be a little bit better.
Agreed. Yeah. I think that's what music helps us do, is understand each other more intimately. Sure. People who we, may have judged at first because of how they look, as judging books by the cover, and then you hear their music and you're like, oh my gosh, this is like my fellow human. This isn't just some person who I've seen out there or heard from. It's like I feel them instead of just see them.
No, and it's like the social media is definitely giving us like a platform to like, when we just scrolling on social media, we'll see something, then we click it, and the sound just like mind F's us. We're like, whoa. I didn't know I was going to click that and that was going to be that. Yeah. Like somebody can be dressed like a whole gothic kid, and then when you click on it, he's singing opera inside of the parking garage.
Yeah. Yeah.
We needed to see that.
Absolutely. Yeah. Because you're like, whoa, these people are really versatile out here.
Right. We needed to see that. So, yeah.
Yeah. It is really special to see just what the internet has done for like young artists, especially being able to get their sound out there, but just artists in general,
Do you feel like the internet was a good impact on the music industry or a bad one?
I think it's more positive than negative. I think it's had both, but I think it's extremely positive in the fact that young people are able to have a platform to get their music out there and be heard. But just a emergent factor of that is that you get saturation of music. And so it's harder for people to be heard because it's like everybody crowding a room. It's like the first people who entered this room, that is the internet, they were heard the loudest and first. Like the first people on your MySpace and the first YouTubers and stuff, like they've gotten to the room first and everybody's looking at them.
But people do be blowing up overnight. It be people who don't even be real artists at the moment. And they'll do a song with their friend. I just do a song and then they post it and it goes viral. You be like, I've been in the studio slaving all these years.
Yeah. And it is like the Wild West that way. How it is, it's very Wild West style where anybody can just overnight just blow up.
And I feel like it's like you said, it's a good thing. I feel like it's a good thing because it's definitely giving people a platform to express themselves, and it makes it easier for the A&Rs and the label to find different investments and different, people to look into. I feel like it's definitely hurting the industry because they're not looking for the talent anymore. It's definitely a popularity game. It's definitely about who you know. It's not even about if you got all the streams. People always think it's always about if you got all the streams, but the labels do want you to have some streams, but it's still about if you're popular and if they can market you, because you can have all your followers, but if they can't put you in a room with Kai or somebody else that's twitching, that's on Twitch, or just another YouTube influencer. If you don't really have the personality to make people feel comfortable or something, it's hard for them investors to pay for you to be in those rooms and for you to build those relationships with those influencers because, it's just not real.
At the end of the day, you have to be likable.
It's not real. You have to be likable, and people be so stuck in their head. So some people be like, oh, I don't have to do that. Like, I'm this and this. Like, bro, just do it for the fans. Like, if it's not gonna hurt you and your character, just do it. Don't hurt nobody else. So,
I I think maybe another emergent factor of it, just the internet, is the way maybe A&Rs and labels look at music now is this, instead of like a rare resource, it's like this renewable resource that we have so much of that it's like we don't need to value it as much.
I feel like the A&Rs, I don't know, they might get me on that, but the A&Rs ain't working hard enough because y'all ain't found me.
Right.
But no, even the ones that I have ran across, I had one A&R, was crazy because he was A&Ring. Somebody sent him my stuff, and he moved to Louisville for a moment, and he came to a couple shows. But it's like, the Louisville scene, we might have different locations for the shows, but it's usually the same crowd, So it's different when you see a familiar face that you don't know. So it was definitely one of those. And then me, I always interact with the people that's definitely showing me love during my performance, and even just in the environment at the moment. So I end up running into him, and I'm like, hey, like, introduce myself. He's like, yeah, I've actually been coming to a couple shows. Like, so-and-so sent me, and so I'm like, whoa. And it happened in front of my dad. So it was definitely like a good moment because it was like, told you that it's getting serious. Yeah. But I was like, okay, that is cool.
Yeah, absolutely. It's this validating moment.
I feel like it can help them find the artists a little bit more, not even just on the Instagram, but you see them post that flyer, go to that show, see how they act, see how, how do they act to their crowd and their supporters and the people that they're with. Most importantly, the people that they're with. Because just because they have a team doesn't mean that they're nice to their team. Yeah. So. Absolutely.
That's important. We'll move on to shows. What do you love the most about performing live? Or what is your favorite aspect of performing live?
My favorite aspect of performing live is definitely the people's reactions. The new people and the people that know me. I feel like I can tell when, like, the I'm proud of you smile? It's that. So it's either getting the, whoa, I talked to her in the restroom for an hour, but she didn't tell me that she was about to get up there and do that. Yeah. And then it's the, oh my gosh, this is why I came out. Like, for instance, Nick Meredith?
I've heard the name.
Yeah, it's like Nick Meredith, owner of 400 Recordings. Nick is a studio bug. Nick's not coming outside for nothing, like, for real. But if he do, he loves you. So Nick even comes to my show. So even like that right there, it's something that I cherish a lot, just because I know that he's a very busy man and he takes the time out to come see me, even if it's for my 15-minute set. And even after, if I want to stay at the show after my 15-minute set or my 20-minute set. He's still there supporting me, making sure that I get in that car and I'm gone. So little stuff like that means so much.
Yeah. Shouts out to him and anybody who takes the time to
Nick
go
be
out.
pulling up with the whole 400. So shout out to all my 400 boys.
How would you say you prepare differently for a studio session versus a live performance? Like, for somebody who's kind of on the outside of like it's like for an artist.
So live performance, I'm always by myself most of the time. Or if I'm not, it's like one of my engineers or my producers with me, because I'm going to make sure they get inside the show. But it's me doing my makeup. My hair is probably already done because I don't be having time to be doing it. My outfits, I always pick my outfit. It's actually an R&B fact. I always pick my outfit after I do my makeup. So I might have 10 minutes to pick my outfit because I took all day doing my makeup. But shit, I need to do my makeup first.
I got you.
And then me getting ready for the studio, I definitely need my snacks. I'm not standing there if I don't have no food, because then this is going to be crazy. I need something to snack on. Some fruit. I love fruit all the time. I can eat fruit. I can eat some vegetables, some carrots, some celery, stuff like that. Gotta eat my chips. I have to have a cover because I will turn off the air.
Feel that, yeah.
a tornado.
Studios usually stay pretty cold.
Right. So, it'd be times whenever, like, we've been for 100, and no, I wouldn't do it when clients will be there. But, like, it'd probably just be, like, me dealing with somebody inside the whole studio. And I'll turn the air off because they got it blasting. I'm 110 pounds. Turn the air off, and it's already cold outside, y'all. So, they be like, it's hot in here. They be like, it's on to be here. I mean, they're like, yep. I'm like, right. Because y'all had it freezing in here. I almost turned into a popsicle when I'm in the booth. How can I focus on hitting the note right when I'm shivering?
Yeah, they're probably like wearing hoodies anyway and stuff. So,
right. So,
they're like, it's not cold in here. Right. It's like they got hoodies on.
So, definitely need my cover, and I definitely need my snacks. I take fruit, and I take, look, if anybody who wants to give me snacks in my studio session, I take any type of fruit and some hot Cheetos.
Nice.
And something to drink, as long as it's cold too. Not too cold, but cold.
I got you. Good to know. So I've been saying that we need to bring choreographed dancing back to live performance. And I saw you doing God's work at Louisville a few years ago. How else do you keep your live performances engaging and dynamic?
I feel like definitely interacting with the audience. If I see you on the phone when I'm performing, I'm going to tap you on the shoulder. I might swipe up on your phone. Little stuff like that. Definitely the drunk talks with the girls in the restroom before the show.
Nice, of course.
Seeing them in the crowd and they're like, whoa, who's those girls turning up? Oh, I just met them in the restroom.
Yeah.
But now we best friends.
Yes.
Just little stuff like that. For real, I don't really know.
No, I like that. Ending on a live performance, like what would you say the key elements of a successful live show for you would be?
Definitely my mic on point, some good lights, a smoke machine, photographers there, and it doesn't matter if it's 2 people in the crowd. All I need is those 3 things. I mean, those couple things right there. And a good sound system, we in the game. I don't care if we in front of a pizza shack or if we at the Yum Center. The show will go on. So.
One day we'll figure out the feedbacking mic situation, which has just plagued us for, 40 years now? Like, can we not get the mics to stop feeding back? No, sorry, nope, that's going to be a thing forever, apparently.
I feel like what? I feel like they need to put X's on the stage where the mic does not need to be close by. You know?
Yeah.
Like, why is it hurting my ears?
Yeah.
And I'm trying to remember my words.
Nothing like and you never think about it until you're up there. It's like, oh yeah, if I hold the mic like this, it's just kind of feedback.
And then it's like people's like, oh.
Yeah.
I'm like, I'm sorry, y'all. Yeah. But come back and dance with me. Definitely.
I do see a lot of like more singers and stuff going back to the headsets, the NSYNC, Britney Spears style.
I want that.
Yeah, a friend of mine who I'm in a band with, he's in Y-Doms. He does the drums for that, and he raps too.
You need a headset.
And so he's rapping and playing drums at the same time.
That's
and
dope.
We saw this touring act together where the drummer had like the Shure headset, and he found out the exact model of it and everything.
I need that.
Yeah, because those are much less prone to feedback, and also if you're doing choreographed dancing, that's that way you don't have to worry about like doing like a cartwheel with a microphone in your hand.
And I've been definitely dancing and stuff like that. I just need more of I need the space. I need the space to display my dancers, you know, because I feel like just the locations that I've been performing at recently, they're nice locations, but I won't, you know how it's like, I don't have to really prove anything to nobody. But at the same time, if I still want people to believe in me as much as I believe in me, I want to show them something. I want to give them an experience. So it's like, when I have my dancers, I want to, can we have a dressing room? It doesn't matter if it's a green room with the rest of the artists. We need a room where they can sit down, chill, stretch, just different stuff, you know, so they can feel that this is why it's serious. This is why we did it for these 2-3 weeks or this 2-3 months.
Yes.
For this day, for this night. So just being able to bring that type of experience to the people that's involved with me.
Yeah. Yeah, and I do hope to see you performing at more venues, and I know you will be, but
Yes.
it takes time, to find those venues that will lend themselves to your dancers, and to give the respect to them, because that takes a lot. They're practicing in rehearsal just right along with all the other musicians.
As us, literally,
and
really harder than us because we can always stop. And just start rapping.
And or a musician, if a guy's up there playing guitar, he doesn't have to like be physical or anything, and also the guitar's doing that. I always talk about like the difference between like stand-up comedy versus like a music set, is where stand-up's like so dynamic and scary because you can change your whole set just by like a look you get from somebody or a feeling you get, whereas the tempo doesn't change from a feeling you get. You're going to play the song that way it goes. And the same goes with dancing, but you are so more physically involved, and it's got to be, you got to be really on point with each other. Like you think of musicians being in sync with each other, but like physically in sync is like so much more difficult to pull off. And it's like so super impressive, and it brings energy to the crowd and performance. Like it makes for me, when I saw you doing it up there, and when I've seen other people do choreographed dancing, it just feels really inviting. And it's like the show has started, like we are. Like, the audience is being invited to dance along with it.
Definitely.
It feels good.
Especially whenever the dances is a little bit more like rememberable, because then they start doing it in the crowd.
Yeah. Exactly.
So, definitely.
What would you say keeps you inspired making new music, and what do you find inspires you when you make a new song? Is it just standing in line at the CVS and then it comes to you, or do you find it's like as soon as something happens, or when you've had time to reflect, or does it come to you when you're in the studio? All of the above?
Definitely all of the above. Once again, being around different studios and having the access to have those resources. Sometimes I come to the studio with beats. Sometimes I don't. So sometimes I go off what the engineer or the producer might bring. Sometimes I might bring beats, and then I'm like, okay, these are my top 3. Which one do you feel like hearing? To the engineer, because sometimes I feel like having the engineer engaged in the session definitely matters. Because if you don't care and he's texting the whole time, it's kind of awkward. Especially when you like, hey, can you punch me back? Can you punch me back?
Right, yeah.
Can you punch me back?
Yeah.
It's just like, I don't even want to do it no more.
Yeah, they definitely need to be locked in.
So, little stuff like that matters so much. So,
if you had the opportunity to have the engineer and producer and yourself in the room together and be able to dynamically on the spot say, hey, can we like take that part out of the instrumental? So you've been able to have that kind of experience there.
Definitely yes, just because that's just how I am. And I know how serious some of my friends are. And even though I even know that some of them are new to it, and they're not as comfortable as letting somebody else mix their beat.
Right.
Letting somebody else mix their vocals they recorded. So it's like, okay, how about I invite you to the room. You do what you do. He's going to touch what you do. And you're going to sit there and you're going to see what he's doing. And if you don't like it, we're going to stop it right then and there. And we can always go back while he's in the room. Or you can always teach him something new. So just giving people the opportunity to do that and to learn how to be open-minded when it comes to creating. A lot of people be stuck on, I only do this. And I have had one-on-ones with my friends that have produced tracks for me, and he's like, I'm not doing it. I only make trap shit. Well, you ain't going on tour. They called me. I'm gonna let you know this right now, because we put you in the studio with ATL Jacob, one of them, like they're gonna be going to different genres of genre. You can't just sit in a room and you're taking up space on the tour bus on something because you're saying you only make trap beats.
Yeah,
like
also as somebody who's your friend, you'd hate to see them put themselves in a box.
It's like, why are you limited? If you able to do this, why would you limit it yourself?
Yeah, limiting yourself
of creating, and just like, and it's like not even trying to be funny, but enter a whole different world. Because
absolutely.
doing different genres, I'm stuttering. Doing different genres definitely unlocks you to different worlds, because it's different people, it's different the way these people dress, it's different parties. Like, going to a mosh pit is not the same going to a Janaea Coy concert.
Yeah.
She's doing sound baths at the beginning of the concert.
Yeah.
Like, you go to a mosh pit, you might get hit in the head.
Yeah.
I don't want to get hit in the head.
Yeah.
But I can make mosh pit music if I wanted to. So it's just about just trying to be, valuable at that as well. So it's like we had a brother-sister moment, and I'm like, that's not acceptable. And if you think it's cool, then you can be regular. And you can do that. But it's like, I want to bring and not to say I'm going to be coming into the industry with a team and I'm going to be using them like, oh, he's better than you, so let's see what y'all can do. Like, but it's like, no, when we go in them rooms, I do want to be like, Chris, show him what you can do. And be able to go like this. You feel me?
Yeah.
Other than you coming, oh, I only do this. And you can just whisper it to me when 5 minutes into the session. No!
Yeah.
You got to lock in. Like, I brought you with me. Like, we all prodigies. What are you doing?
Yeah. Versatility is key.
Facts. And just, not even just me. Me allowing you to be confident and try different things. I wanted to basically help you, open new doors for you. And that's why when we was going back to saying why you putting yourself in a box. The Scorpio and me would be mad. Like, that's why we have those brother-sister arguments, because it's like, you missing out on opportunities. You saying you don't want to make those beats. Like, I done been on a whole movie set for like BET and left for a break, went to 400, and on that break, they said it was an emergency, so 10 people had to leave, like 10 extras left. It's 11 people at the studio. Come on. Y'all don't get paid to be extras? Y'all have no sessions anyway.
Yeah.
Come on. And they all went to the studio. They all went to the movie thing, and they was in the movie. And I was like, you see? And y'all got paid. Yeah. And then, but most of all, though, it's like, don't just take in, you just went to a movie and you was in a movie. Figure out who's behind what. Who's in control of what. Because at the end of the day, this is a movie. They need a soundtrack. They need stuff mixed.
Yes.
They need new beats. They need different stuff. Like, it can be the title, the credit part, and you can just put a beat. Like, make something from Marvel. Think about you as a child and think about all the stuff that made you remember those different games, those different cartoons. 9 times out of 10, it was the art part of the whole thing. So it's just like, redo it in your way.
Yeah. And realizing that these studios, when you're near them, like, they're most likely to reach out and find the people closest to the production. And so if they find out, oh, these extras that just came in are part of a music studio, maybe we can
team up. We can team up. We can actually give y'all the audio. We got more stuff to film. Y'all can be mixing the audio. So definitely.
Yeah. More likely than not, they would be more interested in working with that team, with your team, who you just brought, who's ready here now, than phoning somebody in from California.
They're right here.
Yeah.
They're right here.
And they're ready and willing.
Y'all, and y'all ready to do it. Y'all want to? That's the biggest thing. Oh, y'all want to do it? Okay.
Yeah.
Let's lock in.
Because usually they call somebody from another country or from California or whatever, and they got to
be waiting 6 months.
And they got to schedule you. It was like, oh, okay, I guess I can do it in like 4 months when they're shooting right now.
Right.
Yeah.
I'm definitely learning about that. But I feel like being the type of person that I am and giving people those type of opportunities, God definitely blesses me for stuff like that. So I like giving to people because, I'm always giving. I feel like I always get a lot of return. So it's nothing for me to put people on. And I feel like definitely, not even just as an artist, as a creative, as somebody who just wants to be successful, I feel like whenever you can put the people around you in positions to better themselves, it's way more love in the situation. It's way more dedication in the situation because everybody's elevating. It's different whenever it's just you're the artist, but okay, the artist got signed, but the engineer and everybody else is still in Louisville. Yeah. But it's different whenever that artist is standing on business and saying, no, you wanted to pick me up and you wanted to sign me because you like this. Yeah. They helped make this.
Yes.
You know?
That's so true.
So it's like if you want this to keep going, they have to come.
Yeah.
Unless, and it doesn't matter if I can still be signed. Just send me back home so I can be with them. And they can, you feel me? As long as you give us the resources that we can use and that we can still travel and we can do stuff like that, we can figure out a budget for them, you know? But as long as they can come, you'll get your work. You'll get paid and you should not be mad.
Yeah.
So that's the thing. Y'all going to take me away from my engineers and my producers and try to put me around these number one hit makers who's going to, like, take the budget.
Take the budget and possibly affect your sound in a way that's not genuinely you.
I have actually recorded with Grammy-winning engineers and producers, and it was, not saying it was a bad experience, but it's like I'd rather just would have been the fly on the wall for this session. Like, I left with that type of vibe. And I was like, dang. And then especially because it was, like, around new people. And it was, like, they probably, even if they don't do music, but, like, they think that it's probably me whole time. It's like, I know I can do this right, but he's not getting my levels right. He don't got the auto-tune right. It's just like, what is he doing? And then most of the time, people be getting those nominations and getting those credits because they're in the room. Sometimes they always didn't do something. So whenever you hear that Grammy winning or some yeah, he could have been in the room and he could have put the snares on there, but he's not that hot of a shit.
Yeah. Yeah, I feel that.
Not to talk about nobody, but it's like you just done judge a book by its cover and you don't forget where home is. Because when you want that sound, it's like Jack. He came all the way back home to do that album.
Yeah.
And I really feel like he had a lot of great albums, but that was definitely one of the best albums that I've heard from him.
I think it is understated how important the chemistry with the artist and their engineer and their producer is. Because they're just as vital parts of the process, and it's weird when you're an artist and you go into a studio you've never been into before. You don't know the engineer, they don't know, like, there's like so many intimate things that are kind of understated. Like, I've gotten to moments with artists I've worked with for years where they don't have to say punch me in. I just know that when they pause, we just go, and there's no punch me in, Chris, and I go, okay. It's just that part skipped.
I can't record. That's actually why I don't record. And that's one thing that with that actual engineer, that was one thing that was like kind of making me a little irritated because it was like he wasn't listening. Like when even whenever he's like trying to get my levels, he's thinking, "Oh, that sounds I'm like, no, I'm warming up. I'm telling you, I'm warming up. Just listen to me and it would be good." But it's like, it's hard to say it like that, especially whenever it's somebody who looks at their stuff as like, oh, I'm already like the top shit. So it's like, who are you to be telling me to listen? No, you listen and I'm going to show you something. But it's like, bro, you letting this be an ego game. It's just crazy. I'm just trying to make a song.
The importance of just listening to the artist is huge within itself, but also just reminding yourself like what your space is like for that artist and somebody new. People get stuck in their head, and engineers can get an ego and stuff, but I think it is super important to just have, you are a means to get this artist's music out there, and you have a responsibility that it's not like you have it's like a privilege to be able to curate another artist's art, and then you have the responsibility to make it and manifest it into a really aesthetically pleasing form for them. It's not just about you or at all, but I think definitely very important for engineers to just simply listen to your artists. No matter how locked in you are in your workflow, I think it's good to be malleable with your workflow, because you can, I think you more than I would probably know, because you've worked with more different engineers, but you can probably tell as soon as you walk in that they have like a way of doing things, and they kind of lock you into it instead of like
flowing with each other,
being able to mold to your creative workflow.
Definitely.
And that's something I try to do and learn from, is just let's approach this at their pace,
right,
every step of the way, and also checking in, like, instead of just saying I think that sounds good, checking in and be like, do you think that sounds
like that?
Did you like that? Instead, like because so many people can get into kind of locked into where it's like, I think that sounds good, so it's objectively good.
Yeah, so like let's keep going, like go to the next punch. And it's like, no, I can't focus on the next punch because that one is ugly.
Yes, exactly. So yeah, I think we all are learning, but I think it's best to keep each other in mind, when we're doing this. And so I hope somebody hears that and just like really listens
to engineers
to it.
And the artists. Everybody needs
listen to each other.
Listen to each other.
Exactly. What legacy do you hope to leave as an artist?
That just because you do music doesn't mean that has to be the only thing that you do. I feel like a lot of people look at me as like, oh, you do this, how do you do that? Because I want to do it. Right. That's exactly how I do it, though, because I want to do it.
Right.
People look at all these different things and wonder how you do it. It's like, you don't want to do it, because if you wanted to do it, you'll be finding modeling classes. You'll be finding fashion shows. You'll be finding designers who possibly just need models. So you'll be doing different things to get you in the position to do those things. Right. So that just be like, that'll be my advice and my legacy that I'll just like, leave off to different people. Is like, this is the stepping stone. What are you going to do with it? Yeah.
I think that's a really good, just a good reminder, as me as an interviewer and just a person. It's just that if when you approach a question like, how do you do this? It's like, well, they love doing it.
Yeah, so
you're going to make room.
I'm gonna practice. I'm gonna watch videos. I'm gonna listen to different stuff. I'm gonna read books about music. I'm gonna watch music documentaries. I'm gonna sit around and write in camps. I'm gonna be the artist that sit down and cook up sessions. Yeah. And like, if you don't know, a cook up session is when it's just producers mainly and they're making beats. So it's not really even nobody even rapping at all, for real. They probably might have one or two artists in the room, but it's really not for you to be in our rapping. Yeah. They just got some company. Yeah. And the vibes. So just, being open-minded to stuff like that. And I feel like it's just refreshing. I feel like whenever you get a little bit overwhelmed with being an artist, you can go be a model. You get overwhelmed being a model, go be an actress. You get overwhelmed being an actress, go be a community activist. Yeah. Go work at the church. Go do something. So, like I said, little things like that can mean a lot, though. Yeah. And it can just change the way you look at life. So.
Agreed. Yeah, and it doesn't have to be just like a binary on and off switch. Like, I'm an artist. Now I'm not an artist today. Right. It really is something that's more dynamic. You can move to acting and then writing and then making music, and so one thing doesn't become too burned out.
Saturated, yeah. And then I always just stay true to yourself. Like I said, I do have a very diverse friend group. So like, I can be around my friends that I grew up around as kids, and we grew up in one of the worst neighborhoods in Louisville. Or I can go hang with my friends who been millionaires their whole life, But at the same time, you got to realize you're going back wherever you just left. Right. So it's like when I go hang out with my millionaire friends, it doesn't matter because guess what? I'm still going back to my house. That's in the hood. That's my mama's in. So just like, being humbled and, like I said, not limiting yourself to different things and not thinking that stuff is too good to be true. Right. Because you need to realize you do deserve this. you do deserve to hang around this. You do deserve to see this view, you know?
Yes.
So just taking stuff in and like really just giving yourself flowers. And I feel like this year was the year that I really started doing that. So it made me a little bit more confident and expressing how like the stuff that I want to do, the stuff that I want to say, how I want to dress, even being confident bringing around the people that I want to hang around, you know?
Yeah.
So I don't always mix my friend groups, and that's just on for my friends can be comfortable, you know? It's nothing about me hiding anybody, but like if you love me, then you know I love you. And if I don't know that you love me, well, just know I love you.
Right.
But yes, I just try to make sure everybody's like, you know, comfortable. And I feel like that's one thing as a friend, I can say my friends, my family members cherish about me is that I'm there and I'm the same person from my mama. I'm like, it's not like when we in her talking, I'll be talking the same way if my mama was sitting right there in the corner.
Mm-hmm.
Probably less cuss words, but like we best friends and I'm grown, so I can cuss, but that doesn't mean I'm going to be cussing.
Yeah.
And she listens to my music, so it's not like she don't know that I cuss. But I'm the same girl from when we sit in here, from when we go to the studio, from when we go to the modeling stuff. So it's never really like it's never a switch.
Right.
Because I'm just being me. I'm the same goofy girl that's always hungry.
I love that.
That's talented.
Message of just staying yourself, being yourself. I love that. Are there any new genres or styles that we can see you like approaching in the future, or you'd be interested in exploring?
I can give y'all a little something. Definitely been inside of my alternative pop girl vibe. Mixed in with a little country. Depends on what the vibe is. I can give a little bit of jazz, blues, guitar.
Oh man.
I'm coming hard. I feel like I said at the beginning of my rap, not even my rap, of my music journey, I definitely was boxed in because of how I was thinking and how I was moving. But being around different people, doing different things, I'm making stuff I'll watch a show and go make a song about it. And then try to find out who the person is who's over the music production of the show.
Right.
So it's like I'm doing stuff like that right now. So it's just like, dang, imagine me in 5 years. I'm 22. Like, so it's just stuff that like that's what motivates me the most. Just seeing how much I push myself and how far I've gotten. I have friends that ain't made it past 14, 15 years old. So doing stuff like this, like being able to do stuff like this and watch this on YouTube, listen to the podcast on Spotify, whatever, it's mind-blowing from where I come from and the people that I hang around, because they still look at me as that girl that lived down the street, you know?
Right.
So it's like, dang, look at her. It's like, but she told y'all.
Yeah, she did. You didn't give up.
Yeah, so it's like, I don't know. Definitely flowers that I give myself and flowers that I give for the people that's around me, helping me stay grounded and, you know, just focused all in general.
Oh, that's beautifully said.
Thank you.
Last but not least, what advice would you give a young person pursuing multiple and creative endeavors like yourself?
Okay. Once again, relationships are temporary. You are going to be your biggest critic / fan / lover. And it might sound so cocky and crazy and delusional, but it's like you have to be that for people to be like that for you. You know, like I have to be crazy about me to realize who was crazy about me for real. You know, because it's like, okay, I would never do that to me. I would never do that to you. But at the same time, you can't realize that. You have to realize that people are not you. So you might be able to go to all your friends' shows and this and this and this, and that's the way you show your support. But people have different ways of showing love, different ways to show support. Be patient with people. Love yourself. push yourself. Push yourself as much as you can every time. But definitely take off days. Like I go to the gym. I don't go hard every day. But sometimes I still go to the gym to put myself in that mindset. I might go to the gym, get on the treadmill, and walk and write a song. Go to the sauna, and then go do some crutches. Then I'll leave. But I've been in the gym probably 2 hours.
Right.
So give yourself time. Be patient with people. Love yourself. Be careful what you eat. Be careful what you put out into the world. Take your time to reflect on things before reacting. And don't forget to spread the love.
I love that. You reminded me of a great a quote I heard a while back ago. It's learn to love yourself, because that's the rarest love you'll ever find.
It is. I feel like people don't, like I said, people seem to be a little intimidated when they find people who love themselves. Back to like the NLE Chopper. Like, how you get mad because it doesn't matter if he say he's fine in every song. It's how he feels. You don't have to listen to that, you know? Somebody who takes pictures of themselves all the time. What's wrong with somebody admiring how they look? Like, me taking a picture of myself should not be making you mad. Right. You're not even in the picture.
Yeah, right.
But stuff like that. So I feel like once they feel that way about themselves, it like they get this reflection or this perspective the way that I'm saying it from, seeing somebody do that type of stuff. Like, I'm not gonna lie, when I see girls taking their pictures and I'm in the restroom with them, I'm like, look at you, go girl.
Yes, exactly. So
it doesn't matter if I don't like her outfit. So what? Go girl. She likes her outfit. That's all that matters.
Exactly.
So yeah.
That brings us back to the confidence that you help instill in us through your music and art.
Yes, I'm trying to make the world great. Yeah. I don't know if it was great again, but I'm trying to make the world great, okay? Yeah. And I feel like if people just start growing their own fruits and vegetables, and they stop minding other people's business, the life will be good. Life would be good. If y'all just grow your own fruits and vegetables, stop minding people's business, and stop trying to be grimy. Everybody don't need revenge coming from a Scorpio or a November one, a real one. Right. The revenge is always not needed.
The best revenge can be a life well lived.
No, for real. Because I know, like, the guys in the past that I've talked to, and even, like, the old friends, I know they see me now and just be like, dang. It has nothing to do with my status as me being an artist, but seeing how much I've grown as a person. Like, dang, she used to tell me stop doing that. Now look at her, like, she don't even do that. Like, or like, she don't even hang around people that do that. So just different stuff. It's motivation, I feel like being around people, you should always motivate your people that you're around. I don't like being around people who don't motivate me and people who I can't learn with. Right. Like, I don't like always being the flyest in the room. I don't want to always be the smartest in the room, the most talented in the room, if it makes sense. So I like surrounding myself around, other people that's, great.
Yeah. It will help inspire
great,
you.
Or even, like, they don't got to be great right now, but they trying, so.
Right. Well, thank you for sharing that message of the importance of learning, the importance of love, the importance of confidence in yourself, and to give that confidence to others as well, especially those who are in your corner.
Thank you. Thank you for allowing me to be on your platform.
Of course.
Yeah, make sure y'all go subscribe and go watch the rest of the videos, especially if y'all coming from the R&B page. Go look at all the videos. Y'all might find a new artist that y'all like. And he got good music, too. He's really good.
I appreciate that a lot.
No problem.
Until next time, thank you so much.
All right, bye.
Bye.